of the year. But it's something about a long straight I'm all about a shade tonight. Hate your tattoos. You have weak wrists, but I'll keep you. 'Cause it's something about a long shade I'm all about a shade tonight. It's too bad. It's too bad. It's too bad. You're married to me. What's going on, YouTube? So I hope you guys enjoyed that little, that little Sharm video. You feel me? I'm trying to get better at like just being out on my own. So that's why you see like a bunch of stationary shots, because I'm just using my tripod and my cam. But in all honesty, I'd much rather just shoot the stuff myself. I just feel like it's a little bit more authentic. The only thing that kind of looks choppy is like transitions. I can't really do much. It's whatever. Y'all don't really care about that. What we're really here for is, spread God's word. That's what I'm here to do. And that's what I feel like I have been called to be doing, being that my gift is inspiring others to not only excel physically and mentally, but I feel like spiritually all of this can go hand in hand. So some things that I've been seeing on social media, mostly on TikTok, just talking about like substance and alcohol abuse and how like it affects like your training and your day-to-day life. Really, I was a former advocate of marijuana. I mean, it all comes down to everyone's different and how it affects them, but it is proven to have a negative effect on your mental, and you're not fully aware of everything when you're under the influence. Whether you argue that or not, it's proven that it does cloud your mind and cloud some of your thoughts. Even though the Bible doesn't specifically say, oh hey, don't smoke weed, it does say treat your body like a temple. So I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say and argue with you that marijuana doesn't help you just from personal use. The only thing that it made me do was be lazy. Like in my last video, I kind of touched on that already. Being lazy and procrastination is a sin. So if it leads to that, I feel like, okay, yeah, it is a sin. One thing I wanted to say is alcohol, a topic I've been seeing a lot as well on really everywhere. Alcohol does not go hand in hand with your training. Whether you do it on the weekends, here and there, like you truly have to sacrifice one or the other. Like you can't train and be still drinking every other day or every weekend. Say if I train 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and I drink Saturday, Sunday, or even some people I know train Monday through Friday, drink Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Your body still needs to recover. So whether you gave time for your body to recover, like you don't drink during the week, you're still killing any progress you could have had by drinking on the weekend, because, you know, stress levels, hydration levels, because alcohol does make you very dehydrated, and your sleep schedule. Like, sleep is everything when it comes to, you know, trying to be better for gains, bro. Like, sleep is literally everything. Alcohol is just not gonna benefit you in any way if you were trying to, you know, have gains. The last time I had a drink was on my 21st. I mean, I felt like it was a must. I was with fam, I was just chilling, but I didn't train that day or the next day. I probably could have trained the next day, because I mean, a full 24 hours. I just didn't feel right to, and I didn't like how dehydrated my body was too after I was drinking. So I mean, like I said, everyone's different. Everyone maybe knows their limit, how they can balance it. But if you really want to see some progress in the gym, I would suggest not drinking alcohol. Marijuana is a different question. Like I said, I just don't do it anymore. I felt like I was relying on it way too. I talked about this in one of my other videos. I felt like I was relying on it way too much. Like, I shouldn't need a substance to control what I do and what makes things fun, because I realized that too. Like, every time I wanted to do something, I'm like, oh, let's get high, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's smoke and then do it. I didn't like why I didn't like doing that. Felt like it was pointless and you know, just kind of corny. Galatians 1:10, and I'm actually gonna read it this time. So Galatians 1:6-10 reads, I am astonished that you are so quickly deserting the one who called you to live in the grace of Christ, and are turning to a different gospel, which is really no gospel at all. Evidently, some people are throwing you into confusion and are trying to prevent the gospel of Christ. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach a gospel other than one we preach to you, let them be under God's curse. As we have already said, so now I say again, if anybody is preaching to you a gospel other than what you accepted, let them be under God's curse. Am I trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. I know a lot of people have struggled with this, because I know I have. Trying to fit in, trying to make people around you feel comfortable with hanging out with you. So, for example, if I don't drink and I go into a setting where people do drink, I'm not gonna drink just because everyone else is drinking. Not only folding to temptation, but trying to please others that are around you. Before I folded to all the temptations and all the things like lust, alcohol, and marijuana abuse, I was so against it, you know, because I was raised in a decent household. Like, I was raised correctly. Obviously, the devil got to me and I folded. You know, I feel like everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but I feel like a lot of people in this generation have, you know, folded to that type of temptation, falling in line with what everyone else is doing and what this generation has normalized. Whether we think about it or not, we were all doing it to fit in. I know, looking back on it, it definitely looks like I was trying to fit in. But people pleasing is not being a servant of Christ. Like, if Christ is in you and you claim to have Christ in you and you claim to be a believer and a follower of Christ, folding to temptation and things of the world, that's a sin. We can't fold to things of the world. That's just not what we need to be doing, especially if we have free will. Like, God gave us free will to make that decision for ourselves. So let's do the right thing. Spread the word of God in the midst of evil. That's what I've been saying to, like, literally everyone that I know. Anytime you are in the midst of evil, you're in a setting or around someone that is just giving off bad vibes, or you're just in a bad environment, that is the perfect time to be like, can I pray for you? Like, or just start praying by yourself. Like, that is the perfect time to do it. I'm still trying to get the hang of that, because there's some times where I'm like, I'm uncomfortable and I feel uncomfortable. My spirit feels uncomfortable, but I don't acknowledge that Christ is in me, so I just let myself be uncomfortable. In order to get uncomfortable in situations like that, we have to spread the word, bro. Us being believers, we have to be in community as well as in isolation. If we're in either one too much, we kind of fall short. Being in community enough to be able to spread the word, and being in environments where it makes us uncomfortable enough to where we can spread God's word, not forcing ourselves into bad situations to where it starts to rub off on us, if that makes sense. sense. And it's just fighting temptation. When you're in a setting, what my mentor has really taught me to do, she was like, when you're in a setting where you feel tempted or your spirit feels off, she was like, find you a verse, or better yet, find you a psalm that you can just say over and over. You don't even have to go into deep prayer. Like the word, like I learned this today. The word is like, it's alive. That is living God. Like the word is the living truth. You know what I'm saying? So even if you just say a Bible verse, you're letting God work. A verse that I like to remember is 1 Peter 13 through 14. So 1 Peter 13 and 14 reads, therefore with minds that are alert and fully sober, set your hope on the grace to be brought to you when Jesus Christ is revealed at his coming. As obedient children, do not conform to the evil desires you had when you lived in ignorance. That just reminds me, especially when I'm in a setting when temptation is all around me, like things that I have fallen victim to before. I like to read that. I like to remember that, because it lets me know, hey, fight temptation right now and God will reward you. Be obedient. You gave up that past life of ignorance. Be obedient to the word and be true to yourself, because I'm not gonna sit here and try to people please because I want to fit in. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm gonna do. Another verse, Matthew 26:41 reads, watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. This is what Jesus was saying to his disciples before he got arrested. Just that verse alone holds so much power. Like the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. As human beings, like, we are going to sin. We are not perfect, but our spirit, we want to be perfect. You know, we don't wake up wanting to sin. We don't wake up, oh, like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna sin today. You know what I'm saying? We don't wake up doing that, especially if we're believers in Christ. We hate sin just as much as God. He understands that, but we have to pray against temptation. Like, there are so many things in this world that tempt us. All senses the devil has under control. Hearing, sight, smell. The devil has, he knows this, that like the devil is always working. I'm gonna say it again because my boy snapped when he said this. He wins employee of the month every month because he knows how to do his job. He knows what he's doing. So we have to pray against temptation. A big thing that's been normalized in this world is just having multiple partners, being open about having multiple partners, and being open about not caring. Lust has like literally overcome this generation, because now, especially with the access of social media, we think, oh, we can get better than this person. We should never think like that. If we are attracted to someone, we should want to maximize that relationship with that person. We should be trying to increase the chemistry that we have with that person. Disregard physical. We should be trying to get to know this person on the mental and spiritual level. Like, God should be the center of all relationships, even friendships. He is the answer to literally everything, bruh. Like, I don't understand why people, try to find answers in elsewhere when this is living truth. Like, what else do you guys need? All in all, temptation is everywhere. Okay, we just have to stay in our word, stay in prayer. Everything is going to be okay. Resisting temptation, God rewards perseverance. If he knows sin is around you and you say no to it, and better yet, you pray or you give him thanks in the midst of evil, he will reward you. I know a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't do things because God is going to reward you. Yeah, you shouldn't. But if he's going to every time, why wouldn't you want to think like that? If that's the only thing that's going to make you not sin, or if that's the only thing that's going to make you resist temptation, why not think like that? You know what I'm saying? Because God is the truth. Period. Like, what else do you need? That's as real as it gets. I just want to kind of talk to you guys and God. Like, if there's anything that I did to, misguide you or mislead you and steer you in the wrong direction or make you believe something else that isn't of God, I pray that you erase it from your memory, and I apologize. A lot of times we try to sugarcoat the word of God. And I heard this today in a sermon I was listening to during work. A lot of times people need to be offended to get their stuff together. And I know that's right, because I was not in the best place mentally or spiritually. And I got my feelings hurt plenty of times during a sermon. My pastor just touching on something that I'm dealing with personally. I've got my feelings hurt. Like, my friends coming to me telling me to tighten up. Like, there's been so many times where, I got offended. But sometimes that's what it takes for, people to tighten up. So, but if I did you know, say anything misleading. I pray that you erase it from your mind, and pray that you guys come back for the next video. I pray that I'm only inspiring you guys to be better people and not worse. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll see y'all next Monday. Deuce.